Hey everyone, it's Eddie here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm testing out two new stencil designs that I've created on my own. So these not available anywhere. They're just available here at my studio. But I wanted to test them. So I pulled out some older prints, some brayer offs, and some just fresh paper. And I'm going to create a bunch of different prints, enhancing some, obviously. For this first one, this is the smaller squares, smaller checkerboard sort of look, and I'm using this violet flash paint to enhance this other print. So basically, I thought this would be a great idea for like those ho-hum prints you get sometimes, and just a layer of squares. Honestly, it's like it makes such a difference. Like you could see in the print right there how much more impactful it was with just that simple addition of a layer of, squares. So yeah, so let's continue this next one. So basically, I'm also cleaning up the stencil onto other prints too, and taking advantage of any of the wet paint. So there we go. I'll bring that one back, I'm sure, and add some more. Now this is a fun brayer off. I've been saving to do something special with that one. And I thought this was a great opportunity. So I'm gonna do some gold paint on here in the squares, and I'm going right through the stencil because I only want the squares, the actual squares, and not the negative space. So yeah, this one turned out really good. This was one of my favorites, and I turned it into one of my mixed media March 25 um, days, and you can see that on my Instagram page. That one turned out great. I love that. Now this particular one, that's a brayer off that I had from a while ago, and so I thought I'm just gonna build up paint on there and see if I can get it to a point where I think it's really cool. And now I'm using some light blue permanent, or light blue permanent. I think that's what they call it, Liquitex. Anyway, it's a good paint. Um, so for this next one, so I'm using that. And look at the state of my plate. It's yuckified. No, it's actually not too bad. It's just I've been using it a lot. Um, and now this one has been through a few stages. Now some of these prints, to be honest, they feel like canvas because they have so many layers of paint on them, but I just keep going back to them and adding another layer until I'm absolutely sure that's what I want. Now with the lime green, I'm gonna have some fun on this print and add some lime green there. And then I'm taking this other print and adding what's left on the stencil there. So I got two prints, one gel plate, bam, knocked it out. And that turned out so good. It's so much better. Like it was just like a big dark print, and now it's like just it pops. Same for this one. Great decision on this one. For this, I'm using a metallic ice blue. It's a faux art paint, one of those craft paints, but they make great metallics. And now this particular print has gone through some stuff. Not my favorite, but it's not the worst. So I'm trying to build on it and see if I can get it to that optimum spot. This is a little better. Not too bad, but it still needs work for sure. It may not even be finished on this video. And you see that I have a stack of brayer offs that go through and then add more paint, and eventually they get taken out of the pile and retired from being a brayer off into I'm going to work on this and add some cool stuff. And I'm going to do some of that at the end of the video. Towards the end, you'll see some some dabbing and stencil usage um, to create, more layers and more details on the print. This is another brayer off and a stamp off page where I was cleaning off one of my stamps. So there you go. Don't throw those out. Don't throw those away. Those come in handy. This print, I created that print almost 2 years ago, and I recently found it, and it was just like tucked in a folder somewhere, and I found it, and I thought this needs something. So I pulled out this blue. This is an awesome teal. It's from Golden Fluid Acrylic, and it's just a great, great, great color. It gives you a lot of punch without, being obnoxious. Wait till you see this. I have to set it aside for a second. Sorry, I had to dry. So I'm taking this brayer off and I'm gonna clean it off onto the stencil. Um, or clean the stencil onto this brayer off. Flip that, reverse it. Um, and you see this tissue, cleanup tissue, is about to get retired too. That has a lot of paint on it. By the end of the video, that piece of tissue really wasn't picking up much off the plate. So you'll see me using like smaller bits of cut off tissue. Now, it's gonna be good. This prick, it's worth the wait. It's worth the build up. I really think it's just spectacular. Ta-da! I think that turned out so good. Unfortunately, there's no video for that because I did that, like I said, 2 years ago, and I wasn't filming as much. So yeah, but it's there'll be a close up at the end, so you can take a good close look at it and see what's going on in there. But there's a few layers already on there, so it's a nice layer print. And now for some deep gold. This one didn't turn out as great as I thought. This particular I've been struggling with. Keep going back to it, but I'm not giving up on it. That's for sure. It's just another layer added, and yeah, we'll keep going with that one. It's got potential. I just don't know. I just haven't found it yet. Okay, for this next section, I'm taking some of those prints that I already did, and I'm going to start using the next stencil that I'm testing, which is the other one, the other squares one. I don't know what I'm going to call them yet. They're squares, but this is like a large open frame. Um, and I like it. I think it's a good addition um, to my collection. It makes the prints really fun, kind of mod in a way. So you'll see. Now, what I'm doing is I want the outline of the stencil, so I'm picking up with just a plain hammer mill copy paper, the color copy paper I use, and I'm picking up paint through the stencil because I just want the outline. But look at this. Look at that. That is great. We're going to keep working on that one, that's for sure. So I get some nice crisp lines underneath, and then I'm going to add it to this print that's the old brayer off, and it transforms it and then makes it even better. And if you have any questions about the paints that I'm using, if I don't give you enough of a description, please certainly get into my comments box below the video and let me know. Ask away. Now for this next one, I'm going to use some mint paint. It is an opaque from Lucas Krill. It's a beautiful color, and I think it's going to be the right color to pull out the details from this print and just pull it all together. So I'm going to add the mint from this to the burnt sienna from the last one, and look at that. Isn't that fantastic? It's such a good combination, and it's a very, very cool, just like mod kind of print. I think it's awesome. how that turned out. And for this next one, I'm going to do primary yellow, and it's a beautiful yellow from Amsterdam. And I haven't cleaned the plate. I'm still going, keeping the layers building up. And again, I'm going to pull through the stencil onto a new sheet of paper. Um, and mainly the papers I use are the Carnival wet strength tissue and Hammermill color copy 32-pound paper. Other papers I used are just like regular plain copy paper, um, and the Yes Tomo sketch paper, and then sometimes just like regular gift wrap tissue, but not too much because it tends to rip easily on the gel plate. So I tend to avoid that as much as possible. This brayer house turning into a really good print. Let's go in with some cyan blue. And now some of these colors are transparent or semi-transparent, so that also adds to the effect that I get um, when I lay it down on a print. And there we go. Gonna add the yellow to this layer, and really, it's gonna be awesome. Now this particular paper that I was just cleaning off the edges with, that's gonna become something really cool. You'll see in a few. This next one, I just want to clean up what's on this plate as far as the square. So I'm going to do a mix of phthalo blue and light blue, and just do a complete pull on this one, on this plate, so I get most of that up off the plate, and then I can continue with my printing. But it turns into a really cool print. Get that. Very grungy, very urban, and I'll make it even more so later. Now for this one, I wanted to mix up a lighter purple. I don't have like a light purple paint, so I'm just using some of this violet acrylic and titanium white, mixing up some lighter purple to add contrast to this other print. And most of these prints I'm pulling are quick pulls. They're not sitting on the plate overnight or for hours or for really too much time. Um, Honestly, if it took longer than a couple minutes, I'd specifically tell you, but this is all quick, just moving along, printing and pulling and doing all that, and not um, not letting it sit for too long because it's just not necessary. So that's why this one turned out really good. Kind of 80s vibe on that one, right? So what are we doing next, Eddie? I'm going to see if I can do this, add Eddie more to this one. So I'm just gonna go to just plain old titanium white and see what I can add to that next one. Didn't turn out too bad. It still needs work. And back to the metallic. This is the iridescent blue green from Pubeo Paints, and I absolutely love their metallic paints. And this other print that we did earlier needs a little bit more, and I've already printed the smaller squares on it. So for this next one, I'm gonna, there you go. I added the large squares. Take a look to it too. And wait till you see this cleanup print or this I guess pull print, because we're pulling the paint through the stencil with it. And it's got two layers already plus this layer. Look at that. Isn't that so cool looking? I love it. All right, now I'm going to take some of those prints that I used, or the papers I used to pull the paint through the stencil in order to get the outline. So, like, you'll see this one in the corner here with the mint and the burnt sienna. I'm going to add a layer of the green gold from golden fluid acrylic to fill in the white areas in between the squares. Wait till you see this. It'll take you back to Three's Company. It's so 70s, so cool. I love it. Look at that. Fantastic. I love it. All right, for the next one, I'm gonna do this turquoise. This is from Golden Fluid Acrylic. Plus, I'm adding a splash of acrylic or of airbrush medium, and what that does is it extends the drying time of the paint, but it also it keeps it stops it from crazing too much, which means like selling out into little open areas. But it gives it this really interesting quality when you lay it down on a print that already has paint on it. So you'll see in a second. It's just really cool, just fun texture going on the surface of the print. Isn't that great? I love it. So good. All right, let's bring in one of my other stencils. Now, this one is available at pmartiststudio.com. This is one of my distressed crosses stencil. This is style number 2, and I'm using a little burnt umber through the stencil because I want to get the crosses onto that print there that we used to clean up the plate. That was the one that we did earlier, and I wanted to add some, some impact with my crosses. Yeah. That's so cool. I love it. Now for this one, I'm using another new stencil. It's new for me because I'm like working on the design. It's not available yet. But I'm trying to decide which metallic color to use to go on top of that 70s print. And I decided to go with this metallic espresso. Now, you'll see what happens when you put way too much paint onto the stencil. So right away I realized I have way too much paint, so I'm spreading it out as evenly as possible, and I'm going to start wiping off as much as I can, um, because I don't need that much. But um, I remembered I have this other plate that's got the burnt umber on it from the crosses, so I'm going to add that extra paint right there. See, just transfer it, no loss. Oh, that's lovely. That turned out so good. Now for this one, I want to pick up as much of this paint because it's still kind of wet. Um, and picking up as much paint onto this sprayer off. And then I'm going to come in with another print. And what I like to do sometimes is to get out my gel gloss medium, put it down on the plate, put a thin layer down, and then put a print down over it, and then just pull what's left on the plate. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm just taking a little bit of the Amsterdam gel medium and gloss, and I brayer it out nice and thin. I'm going to add that print on top, and it's pretty spectacular. Now for the rest of the video, it is some time lapse of me doing some stenciling with some of Carrie the Crafter stencils and Sophia Button stencil um, onto the brayer offs that that I enhanced during this video. So I hope you enjoyed it. And after these quick sections where I'm enhancing the prints with stencils, stay tuned because there's pictures of all the prints plus a bonus one of a cleanup on the large 9 by 12 stencil. So stay tuned till the end for that one. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Have a great day.